Hi viewers, welcome back to Sahara TV. My name is Adeola Fayehun, and today we have another opportunity to interview our new Vice President, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Professor, welcome to Sahara TV and congratulations on your election.
Thank you very much.
The last time that we met, you were still campaigning, but now you won the election. How do you feel? Because do you feel pressured? Because there's a lot of, the expectation is really high.
Well, first, thank you again for speaking to me. I think that it's pressure, maybe a bit of pressure, but I think a lot of what there's so much to do that there's hardly any time to even feel under any kind of pressure. There's so much to prepare for, there's so much to get ready for. So, and I'm excited.
You're excited?
Absolutely, I'm excited.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. But I wanted to start with something very recent. You recently said that you are inheriting a debt of like $60 billion, and it looks like the finance minister or the finance ministry is not agreeing with you. What do you have to say about that?
Well, typically, there's a lot of denial going on, but this is self-evident. I don't think there's any questioning the facts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as a matter of fact, the total is in excess of 60 billion. That's the truth, is in excess of 60 billion. As of 2014, end of 2014, it was 60 billion. I think there's an additional 2 or 3 billion. That's the honest truth. I mean, there's no question about that. And I don't really think, I mean, sometimes people might want to split hairs on how the debt was acquired, and what happened and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that we're inheriting well over $60 billion in debt. That's what the Buhari administration will be inheriting, well over $60 billion in debt. That's the truth.
So what does that mean though, and what's the solution?
It means that the government has to, the Buhari government has to do a lot more. So, I mean, what we're simply saying is that here we are, these are things that we need to do, not just because they are promises, campaign promises, but more importantly because these are absolutely essential for the people of Nigeria.
The last few days have been really, really hard on a lot of Nigerians with this fuel scarcity, and everybody has just been wondering, is your administration removing subsidy or keeping subsidy?
That is a decision that the administration has to make. Of course, you know that the president would very shortly address many of these issues, especially not just the question of subsidy, but the whole question of what to do with the oil and gas industry. Especially the downstream issues, which are the major concerns of the common man and all that. What I'm saying is that the administration will be responding to the whole downstream sector. Okay. How that response will be, what it will be, you will just have to wait and see.
A lot of people are also wondering about like the Niger Delta Militant Oodua People's Congress. This present administration had been paying them. They have amnesty program going on. Is that something that would continue in this new administration, or? Well,
one thing that is certain is that the Buhari administration, and we've said this repeatedly even during the course of the campaigns, that we're very concerned about issues, the minority issues and all of those things. And clearly, the Niger Delta issues are going to be very prominent in the consideration of the administration. We think that the important programs that have been started, we must look at those programs. We must ensure that we are able to address the real concerns of the Niger Delta people. We have, and their concerns are so important to the administration. As a matter of fact, all issues concerning minorities, ethnicities and all that, that General Buhari has in fact pledged to take a good look at them and to see what it is that we can do better than has ever been done in the past regarding not just the Niger Delta, but all other ethnic tensions and ethnic issues that there are.
And speaking of programs started, we are also wondering if there are some of the policies or programs started by President Jonathan that your administration would like to continue.
Well, that would be on a case-by-case basis, as you can possibly imagine. As you know, I mean, government is a continuum. There are many things that's going on that will, of course, will continue. I can't see But you can only deal with these things on a case-by-case basis. It's very difficult to say, whether you are going to adopt those policies or you're not going to adopt those policies and all that. But on a case-by-case basis, we have to review policies as we go along and.
What about your campaign slogan, which is change? So what are some of the changes that we should expect in your administration?
Well, one thing that's very important is that this will be a transparent and open government. This is a government that will not tolerate corruption. These for us are major issues. This is a government that's going to take security seriously. This is a government that is going to address the economy. We're going to take a very, very serious and firm view of issues concerning the economy. And as you know, General Buhari himself has said that 3 major concerns: security, corruption, and the economy. So you will see definitely a disciplined government, a government that will be serious about transparency, serious about issues of discipline. Also, look carefully at the questions of the huge cost of governance and all of that.
I see. When you said corruption, does that include people that have committed offenses before your administration?
Well, as you know, everything, the government has, General Buhari also has said that we do not intend to be mounting huge probes and all of those kinds of things, but we certainly will be looking at whatever it is. I mean, he said, for instance, that there's going to be, he was going to investigate the whole question of whether money was remitted, the 20 billion.
Yeah. So he's going to address that.
Oh, yeah.
The missing $20 billion.
Certainly.
People have been wondering why Mr. President left the country just a few days to inauguration.
Just to rest. He said, look, and this is the truth. He said, look, I need to take some time off before 29th. He tried to get some peace and he tried to get a few days off in Kaduna and all of that and around. Of course, everybody rushed after him there. So basically, he just wanted to take some time off to, rest, gather his thoughts, and be back to hit the ground running.
I see. So do you have any position on the leadership of the National Assembly?
No, I don't have any position at all on the leadership.
No candidates?
No, I certainly don't have candidates. I don't have any candidates.
Okay, so we talked about the 60 billion debt that you said you're inheriting earlier, and I just want to read some of what people are saying on Twitter and to get your response. So this one that I would read is from Dr. Njakiri Damages. I don't know if you've heard about him. He's very active on Twitter. Okay, Dr. Damages, you have no idea who he is? No, that's wonderful. So he quoted you that we will inherit the worst economy in Nigeria's history. Yes. And then he said, well, so did Obama in the US. And you have got 1,460 days to turn it around, or else.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we take on the challenge. That's the point. That's why we were voted for. We take on the challenge. But it's important for people to know what it is. Obama, in 2008, 2009, made it clear that, in fact, that was the worst depression. That was the worst recession since the Great Depression. And that's a fact. That's true. And we're at a point now where even states cannot pay salaries. Some states are owing as much as 4 months' salary. That's the worst situation we've ever been in certainly in recent history of this country, where almost 2/3 of the states cannot pay.
Some states have much more than that, even 6, 8 months.
Oh yeah, so. Even 11 months. I know a state that owes 11 months. And that is unprecedented. I'm sure that none of us.
So you're saying you're willing to take up the challenge?
Oh, well, indeed. As a matter of fact, that's why we were voted for.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because the next tweet is by Sheon Anikula Kwokuti. And he said, the fact that you announced that you are inheriting this debt, he said, waiting this Oga Osinbajo, they tried to tell us now. So you know if you do the job, he's wondering why you did that.
No. I think it's not an announcement. It's a statement of a fact. And it's very important that we bear in mind what we're dealing with. So for example, know the facts. You've got to deal with the facts, because if you don't have the facts, how do you even? Even in understanding what's going on, I think it's very important. And we've said we're going to be an open government. We're going to let people know the facts. We're going to lay the facts bare. People will not be in any doubt about what's going on. We're going to be as open as we can. So, I mean, this is just telling the truth, letting people know what the facts are. And as a matter of fact, anywhere else in the world, this is information that must be available in the public space.
Yeah.
This is information that must be available. I mean, okay, if the government says it's not a 60 billion debt, but okay, so what is it? Give a figure. Tell us how much.
It's good for us to
And
know.
how much within 2010 and now is how much of that debt was added on by the federal government between 2010 and now? How much? These are facts in the public space.
Letting us know.
Yeah.
And this next tweet is not related to that 60 billion, but this is from Mujida. And he says that I heard from a reliable source that Professor Osinbajo is even more prudent than General Buhari. If this is true, we'll go laugh tire for the next 4 years.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I know that General Buhari has been prudent for the number of years he's lived. So he's been prudent for longer than me. So even if I'm prudent, I haven't been prudent for 70 years yet. So I think that he's probably more prudent than me. And anyway, let me say that, because I'm an manageable man, people might believe that means that I'm going to be very frugal yeah. I think they have a right to expect some frugality, yes, because I really do believe that we should be frugal, And anyway, there must be delayed gratification. I think we must all sort of accept that we need to delay gratification and that we can't immediately begin to reap everything and spend everything. I think we should be.
You can't have your cake and eat it.
You can't. We should be restrained.
And this last tweet that I will read says that religion and politics is sinful and it's not the work of God. So
religion
a lot of people
and
say
politics.
That. Yeah.
Well, I think
because you are also a man of God,
absolutely,
so there
absolutely.
are people out there.
No, but I think that people make a mistake. God has always been involved in the politics of nations. Always. There's no time that God was not involved in the politics of a nation. God has always sought good leaders. That's why the scripture says that when the righteous are in power, the people rejoice. God has always been interested in good leaders. And if you look at it, everything that God has done, he's always tried to appoint good leaders. In fact, when the children of Israel, if you remember in the Bible, when they wanted a king, God told them that, look, this is how this king will behave. They nevertheless said, we want the king. We want this one. We don't want your choice. God even said, you are rejecting my choice. I don't know, we don't, this is the one we want.
So
God has always been interested in leadership. Always been interested, of course.
Okay.
God has always been interested in leadership.
Okay, so I'm just you have the right to choose one of these two things, one of either. So on a good night with Madame, would you rather stroll on the beach or have a movie night together?
I think we'll probably beach, probably, yeah. Lots of times we watch TV together anyway, so there's nothing extraordinary about that, but I think the beach would be, yeah.
So cake or ice cream?
Ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yeah, ice cream. Definitely ice cream.
On a normal day, do you prefer suit or native?
Of late, I've been wearing native, but of late, and I find that it's very comfortable. In the past few years, I always was in a suit, Yes, until politics and all of that. But I find that I'm extremely comfortable wearing, especially the kaftan and trousers. That's very, very, very comfortable.
So akara or moi moi?
Moi, definitely moi.
Okay. What is your hobby? Like, what do you do for fun? Do you have fun at all?
Well, I just read. I mean, the thing that I enjoy the most is reading. So that's really what I do. Reading or fooling around with the children, Yeah, getting into some debate about something or the other with the children. My children all sorts. They have all sorts of issues that they, should parents interfere in this? Should they comment about that? Should they, what people wear? Should you wear this kind of dress? Should you not? I like all those arguments. I like all those arguments. And it's fun. And I like to, if you like, instigate them to, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for granting us this interview. We
Thank you
really,
very
really
much.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Adeola. Thank you.
Is there
Thank
anything
you
I
very
didn't
much.
ask that you like to tell Nigerians?
No, nothing at all. Only to say thank you very much to Nigerians for voting for us. And that they should keep praying for us. I think that, you know, all the prayers we can get. And this country is definitely going to change. By the grace of God, we're going to change. And all of us should come together to make this change happen.
So viewers, that has been our new Vice President, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Thank you for joining us.